Welcome to Dartmoor for another adventure. In this one I'm using the Lanshan, a 3-season tent in 4-season conditions, and there's a fox that nearly spoils everything. It's January, it's going to snow, and I'm in a Lanshan 2 tent. This could get interesting, so I've come out to the moors of Dartmoor. Now that's a bit of a dodgy one at the moment because there's been this huge court case in the last few days, but I'm still here anyway because I'm going to follow the usual approach of being unobtrusive, leaving no trace, being on my own and not causing any nuisance or bother, and so I think I'm going to be okay. Forecast for temperatures of about -4 plus the wind chill factor and snow, and I'm using a Lanshan 2. Is this wise? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Oh, it feels really good to be out again. It's been weeks since my last wild camping trip. That's mainly because in early December I took a nasty fall from the top of a stepladder that collapsed underneath me. My right knee got a nasty sprain and my right foot got nasty bruised. Could have been a lot worse. I could have broken bones and goodness knows what. But it's taken me this long to really recover. Now my pack's a bit heavier, bigger than it normally would be. I'm carrying those extra bits that you're going to need in the winter. Bit of extra insulation for the floor of the tent, extra warm jacket, plenty of fuel, perhaps more chocolate bars than I'd usually take. So the pack's a bit heavier than it usually would be. I can definitely feel it. But I've got to tell you, at the moment, it's fantastic. Look at that blue sky, nice path. So this is a really good start to the trip. All right, so this is the path that I'm picking my way up. At the moment it's become a bit of a river with icy patches, and I don't want to take a tumble this early into the walk, so I'm basically stepping from rock to rock and trying to look elegant whilst I'm doing it. So the weather forecast, not sure exactly what we're going to get. I've been tracking it for the last few days whilst I've been planning this journey. There's certainly going to be snow at some point, but the forecasts don't agree on how much or when, and also they don't agree on how much wind we're going to get. So I've got to be prepared for anything basically. So, you know, it's taken me a few hours of driving to get here. A bit of money on diesel and sorting stuff out, and a bit of hassle to make it all happen. And when you're on your drive down, inevitably you're thinking, oh, I don't know, is this a good idea? Is it worth all this time in the car? Blah, blah, blah. Is my body going to be up to it? I'm a bit out of shape. All these doubts and niggles and uncertainties in your head. And then an hour on the trail and you're just surrounded. Look at that, glorious blue skies. I can't see another person anywhere. The views are really crystal clear. And all of a sudden, it seems like a plain good idea after all. Well, this is beautiful. Look at that. Snow on the ground. Magical. So I want to pitch somewhere around here, but I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Make your mind up, Charles, come on. So it's either here exposed or somewhere not so fat and level over there with a bit more shelter. What do you think? After a bit of pacing around and dithering and making up my mind, I've found myself a spot, and this is it. It's relatively sheltered, relatively flat. I don't know what's underneath the snow, but we'll give it a go anyway. And there's a lovely view. Look at the sun just going down over the hills. So the temperature's dropped hugely in the last 5 minutes, and there are some showers on the horizon, so it's high time. I got my tent pitched and got inside out of the weather. Right, so that's the tent pitched. Sun's gone down over the hills in the distance. It's getting quite dark now. Not a bad pitch. I got it set really low, so I've desperately tried to reduce any creases and things because it's so cold, but it's quite a flat spot, so that'll do for me. Time to get inside, get warm. My feet are a bit cold. Hello and welcome to Home from Home. So I'm all set up, cozy in my sleeping bag. Oh, my breath's steaming. That's a sign that it's cold. So the order of the day now is to have something to eat, have a hot drink, and get nice and warm, settle down for the evening. I'm quite pleased with the way it's gone. And if I run out of water, I can just grab a handful of snow from under the fly sheet. Hey, perfect. Okay, so it's 9:45, and it's been calm until now, but now a hail squall has just kicked in. And the wind was very gusty for the last 10 minutes. There's even a bit of hail burning on top of my pot there in the porchway. But I'm all okay in here. So far the tent's standing up okay. Don't seem to be any problems so far. Nice and taut. Ooh, so far so good, but the night is very young, so let's see what the rest of it brings. Okay, 5:30 in the morning, and I think you can probably tell by the way that the inner's flapping around that it's a little bit breezy outside. In fact, I think I might know why. Yeah, one of my poles has moved. Sorry, be back in a second. Well, that's better. So what had happened there was that the top of one of the poles wasn't properly inside that sort of loop that keeps it in position, and it had gradually slipped along, and so the whole tent was sitting a bit low and flapping around much more than it should. I thought it was a bit flappy in the wind. So a minute of grunting and pushing and pulling, and it's now back in position, and I think it's caught in that loop again, so we should be okay for the rest of the night. Fingers crossed. Oh, that was a bit exciting. Apart from that, we're all okay. Now that's all sorted out, let's hunker down again and see what things are like when it gets light in the morning. Right, 8:10 in the morning. Tent's still up and I'm still alive. Well, hey, so time to take a look outside and see what we find. Right, I heard some rustling around the tent last night, and I think a fox has stolen my shoe, my trail runner. I know, my one trail runner I've got is frozen solid, and the other one has seriously disappeared. So I've just got one shoe, and that's frozen solid after last night. So first thing I've done is to put on a cup of tea, get some hot drink, and stop and think for a bit. Don't panic, we can work our way through this one. I've warmed up my one trainer that I've got, so at least I can hop around outside. So this could be the end of this adventure. The question is, I've got a 5-6 mile walk back to the car. I need to rig up some kind of foot gear for my right foot. So this could be interesting. Well, this is going to make a cracking story, isn't it? The time I went to Dartmoor and a fox stole my training shoe, my trail runner. I'm hopping mad. This is a bit of a curveball, isn't it? So I'm not panicking. I'm just going to calmly stop, think about what to do. Obviously, got to get myself back safely. It's an easy route. It's straightforward navigation. The weather's going to be windy with snow flurries, but beyond that, nothing too bad. So I'm going to have to rig up some kind of boot arrangement for my right foot or hop all the way home. So I've got a few, I've got a carrier bag or two, I've got some rubbish bags, I've got plenty of pairs of socks, and I've got some, what do you call it, duct tape, which I always carry with me on one of the poles, about 30 centimetres or so, I think. So at the moment, what I'm expecting to do is, pay attention, use the insole and also have a rock plate in my trail runners. So I'm going to take them out of my one remaining shoe. I know they'll be kind of the wrong sided, but I can flip them upside down to make them fit. I'll use those and I'll put them inside a couple of bags and strap those up with some duct tape to make a temporary boot type arrangement. I'm going to get some funny looks heading back to the car. Whoa. Well, I didn't expect this happening. Now, the original intention of this trip was to show you how the Lanshan performed in winter conditions and wind and snow on Dartmoor, and things have been overtaken by events a bit, but have a look at it. It's fine, it's good, seems to be standing up fine. I had a pole come a bit out of place in the night. That was an easy quick fix. So the poles I've got set, for those of you interested, at about 112, I suppose. So there's a little bit of a gap underneath the fly for ventilation. That's worked well because with this wind I don't seem to have any condensation on the inner, so that worked particularly well. All the guys are in place. I was a bit cunning. I'd like to say it was by design, but by happy accident there was this nice big rock right in front of my vestibule, and so you can probably see I took my very long guy line around that as a nice secure anchor point. That's how well to say. It's beautiful here. Look, there's a dusting of snow over the moor. You can see snow showers in the distance. In other directions there's nice bright blue sky. What a wonderful day. Wouldn't it have been wonderful to be stomping over the moors in a day like today? Right, I'm going to take a quick look around in case there's a trail runner on the ground somewhere. Oh my gosh, I've just stopped to take a bit of a pee break, look down, and what can I see? There, it's my shoe! Oh, my baby, come to daddy. Whoa, look at that. I found it! Oh, saved! Oh, there she is! What the teeth or anything in it? Well, I can tell you what, plastic bags on socks don't give much grip in the snow. Anyway, here she is, a shoe. Bit full of snow, otherwise unscathed. Right, that's going back to the tent. up. Hallelujah! Well, I was not expecting that. Whew. Right. Let's get back in the tent, get ourselves sorted out and reappraise the situation. Okay, so the stove's lit and on a very low setting. I'm going to gently see if I can warm this through. I'll tell you one thing, never again am I putting my boots under the fly sheet on Dartmoor. Oh, look at them, happily reunited and warmed up, defrosted. Oh, we're back on track. So I'm pretty well packed up now. Everything's bagged up. The only job left now is to deflate the sleep mat and start packing things away. So that's the inner tent dropped. And the way I've got the Lanshan configured, it's quite handy to be able to drop the inner first. So that I'm still left with some shelter whilst I pack things away. You might be able to hear the sound of the snow hitting the outside of the tent. Certainly hear the tent rattling around in the wind. So I've got everything parcelled up in its own stuff sacks and everything, ready to go in the rucksack. And this is why I like to have things individually packed in the stuff sacks, waterproof stacks, because in situations like this it's much easier to keep them dry and safe. The next job is to pack the rucksack and then drop the tent. What I might do is just keep an eye on the weather and wait for a break in the snow showers. It might be a while. Don't know if you can hear me. All packed up. Oh, ready to go. There's a hailstorm. I'm getting battered by hailstones. So that is bad timing. Right, let's get out of here. I'm mad. This is amazing. Look at that dark cloud behind me, full of snow. Hopefully it's passing me by, and this is the weather that's coming my way. But ahead of me, I'm going up this slope, and this is a well-worn track, and underneath the snow is ice. So I'm going to put my micro spikes on now because it's pretty slippy. This is Dartmoor at its best. Gloomy clouds, snow and ice, gales. I'm loving it. Oh, well, this is what it's all about. It's a bit grey and murky. I think the sun is up there somewhere. And occasionally it gets a bit brighter, but good news is no snow or precipitation so far. So, and it's quite bright, it's not too cold, there's not too much wind chill. So I'm just happily stomping along. And it's, yeah, it's a bit bleak, but it's beautiful. I'm having to pay quite a close eye to the navigation though, because the snow has blown over all the paths, so got to be a bit careful. Well, the sun came out. I think it's just going to go away again. Beautiful. Unfortunately, the going's quite tough. There's no path, and wading through snow really. It's very tiring, so I'm just taking it very steady and plodding. It's beautiful. I'm really pleased it came. And sure enough, it started, I think you would call this hail, blowing horizontally in the wind, and I'm thrashing along. There's no path, in kind of knee-deep snow, and I'm doing this for fun. I must keep reminding myself. I'm hoping that this is just a shower and it's going to pass over quickly, but I think there's nothing else for it, just get my head down and keep going. I'm not going to choose to do that stretch again in a hurry. A really deep snow over very tussocky ground, so you can imagine it's very hard going. It's really wild up here, but I think I've done most of the hard walking. I've got another half a mile or so over the top, then I can drop down towards my camping spot, which hopefully is sheltered. Up here, the wind's blowing straight across, this spin drift, and it's wild. That section was really tough, very deep snow, really hard going. It's really windy. Look at the views though. My camping spot for tonight's finally come into sight. Down there, looks okay. Still some wintry showers blowing over, but I think I'll be relatively sheltered. Well, fingers crossed anyway. Woo! Right, can't wait to get down and pitch up. This has been really hard going. Right, I've arrived at my spot for tonight. Finally, after thrashing through knee-deep tussocks of grass and snow for a few hours, I got here. And check out the spot. Just there, nice and flat and level. Just got to clear the snow off first. I'm really glad I got here. It's one of my favourite places to pitch. It's very unobtrusive, but it ticks all the boxes. Right, so let's get this tent pitched, shall we? That's tent and camp set up, I think. I've probably forgotten something. And great to see Lanshan operating in full season conditions. You know, very cold, snow, no problem at all. Got a nice level site here. Interestingly, I'm trying out for the first time, instead of the delta pegs, I'm using these Titan ground anchors, the larger size. They seem to be biting quite nicely. I thought it was a good chance to check them out and their performance. In the tent, I keep my water outside the tent. It's just like a golden rule, just in case of leaks and stuff. I just don't like having water containers in the tent. And I've got a foil mat underneath, thermarest Neo Xtherm, and then my Leviathan sleeping bag. Oh, do you know what? There's a part of me doesn't want to get in the tent because it's turned out quite nice now. The sun's come out, and you know, with the sun on the snow and everything, it's quite pleasant. Cold though, so bitterly cold. So I think I need to get organised. Right, that's me all nice and cosy and warm in my sleeping bag, and I made myself a hot water bottle, basically a half-litre Nalgene filled up with nearly boiling water. It's really toasty around my toes. I've got my wet trousers hanging up to air, and outside I've got my gaiters hanging up, dripping. My trail runners are in a plastic bag inside the tent tonight. Not going to have any more meandering foxes nicking them. And so I'm basically got plenty of time to chill, relax, and just enjoy the situation. Right, so it's 7 o'clock in the evening now. I've had something to eat, something to drink, settled down, nicely warmed up in the sleeping bag. And outside, the wind has died down a bit, and there's been the sound of the occasional snow flurry landing on the tent. Looking outside now, the fly sheet has got a dusting of snow over it, so it's certainly getting cold again. Okay, so it's funny, you know, it must be a day of fresh air and hard exercise. I always sleep well when I'm in the tent, and I'm definitely ready for some kip now. So I'm going to snuggle down, and I'll see you in the morning. Morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Still a bit dark outside, but there is signs of snow on the fly sheet. It was a cold night, but not too bad. Nice and cozy with all the warm clothes and sleeping bag and everything. So I'm fine. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the Lanshan covered in snow. But for the meantime, time to get myself sorted. And now it's starting to get light outside. I'm going to get up and about. Oh, this is a great part of the day, isn't it? Settling down with a nice warm cup of coffee. I can hear this gentle sound of the stream in the background, but everything outside is still. And the fresh snow is on the outside of the tent. So I'm really snug as a bug in here, and I really don't want to get out. This is a major problem. At what stage am I going to have to give up my cozy sleeping bag and get out and about and get busy? How long can I put this off? I think I'd have another cup of coffee and think about it. Oh, this is what it's like. Hey, check it out. So that's the Lanshan covered in snow, survived the night. It's a very still morning, and there's a bit of high cloud, but a bit of blue sky, so it could be wonderful for walking. We had a lot of snowfall in the night, a couple of inches I'd hazard a guess, and it's just starting to slip off the Lanshan. So everything's packed up bar the fly sheet. So I'll give it a good old shake off, see if we can get some of the snow off and slowly pack it away. Oh, this could be a really lovely day's walking if the weather's going to be like this. Well worth it. Okay, everything is pretty much packed away into stuff sacks, ready to go in the rucksack. And now I can't put it off any longer. It's time for the most depressing sound when you're out and about camping. That deflating of the sleep mat in the morning. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I hate that noise. Okay, so that's me packed up, off and away. And you can see that usually I'm proud of leaving no trace. The only trace I'm leaving this time is just a circle of clear from the snow where the tent was. It's a beautiful morning, and up above me I've got blue skies starting to appear, and in this direction as well. So I'm hoping that when we get up into the sunshine it's going to be glorious. But unfortunately there's just a small matter of heading up this hill. So there's a fairly long uphill trudge coming my way. Whew, okay. Nothing else for it really. I better get busy. But I keep stopping to look around because there's so much lovely, amazing scenery around here. Off in the distance, there's High Wheelhaze and Black Tor, Linz Tor. So it's beautiful scenery, and with the blue sky above me and the snow on the ground, it's glorious actually. I know camping out in the winter in January comes with its challenges, and it isn't all fun. You know, wildlife stealing trail runners, and so forth. You know, and the whole act of camping needs a little bit of extra gear. You know, managing yourself and being safe, you have to be a little bit more sensible and to think things through. And there isn't so much daylight and all these kind of things. It's a bit more challenging. But then you get mornings like this, where you're just surrounded with beauty and the snow on the ground and the blue sky, and it just all becomes worthwhile. It's brilliant. Right, so I've picked up it's like a quad bike track going up the slope, so that's making my life a bit easier because there aren't so many tussocks. It's frozen underneath, but at least I'm not having to clamber over big lumps of grass. I love the sound of that crunching and cracking of the ice under your feet as you're walking along. I guess you could say that in some ways this is the best time of year to be walking on Dartmoor, because the boggy bits are frozen over, so you're less likely to disappear up to your thighs in some quagmire or a peat hag or something. Does it get any better than this? I know people get their enjoyment in different ways. For some people, the idea of heaven might be something like, I don't know, a private beach on the Maldives. But then there's the supply of cocktails and only the sugar babes for company. Well, there's something to be said for that, but failing that, the daylight today on Dartmoor, big open blue skies, crisp virgin snow. Takes a lot of beating. Sorry, sugar babes. I think I'll stay here a little bit longer. I'm sure they'll be devastated. When I hear crunching like that, that tells me I'm walking over a puddle, and any minute I'm going to end up with icy wet feet. Smile girls, you're on YouTube. See what I did there? Look at this. It's magical, isn't it? Absolutely magical. Fresh snow. Yeah. It's got a bit more cloudy now and it's got a bit more chilly. That's just as well because I'm nearly back to base, to the car, and to the end of this adventure. If you're interested in the Lanshan tent in particular, I've done videos about how to modify it to make it more usable, and also about how to pitch it most effectively, so check those out if you like seeing what I'm doing on Dartmoor, South Wales and around and about. Then on the channel, if you subscribe, there's some content I put up every month or so about adventures I've been on, so look forward to seeing you there. Oh, right, until then, thanks for watching, see you next time.